My name is Francisco Martinez. I'm account director at Hoist. This video is part of program Phoenix, which is a uniquely holistic initiative aimed at helping hotels across EMEA to overcome the impact of COVID-19. The program has 3 carefully crafted packages that are full of hotel technology, videos, complementary material, offers, and many more things. It's free to join, and we hope you find it useful. Now I will start with my presentation, which is on how to implement a health and safety program for your hotel. The program is based on 5 main pillars, which I will start to summarize now. Pillar number 1. Appoint a responsible for COVID-19 management in your hotel. It is important that you appoint a visible head for all COVID-19 related issues in your hotel, and also that you ensure that he or she has the backing of both management and ownership. First, there are a variety of regulations and recommendations that have been issued by local, national and international bodies, together with brand guidelines and a variety of old documentation. And you really will need to have somebody that keeps a full view of everything that needs to be complied with, and that is able to adjust every time new changes or modifications are published, is able to understand how this impacts your hotel and where you need to apply some adjustments. Second, there will be moments where a decision needs to be made, corrective or preventive, and in some cases even you may find your hotel in a critical situation where it's very important to take a quick decision. It is important that all your staff know clearly where is the visible head who can take these kind of decisions. Finally, and most importantly, all your staff have to be trained and knowledgeable of all the changes that are going to happen in your hotel. And somebody needs to ensure that all these trainings are both taking place, reaching everybody, and as well being effective and resulting in all the measures and knowledge implemented and executed by your team. As well as there are a lot of documentation and records that need to be kept, both of preventive measures but also of logs and even information related to traceability that at some point the government could require from your hotel. It's important that you also keep a person in mind of everything that needs to be done and where it's tracked and is properly recorded and filed. Pillar number 2. Redesign your guest journey by digitizing guest touchpoints. With current social distancing guidelines, guests are looking for more isolation. This gives you an opportunity to revisit your guest journey and take action to digitalize some of the guest touchpoints. Particularly important is the remote check-in process, including pre-filled guest information forms. You can combine that with the use of kiosks for room card distribution, and even better if you can implement a mobile key solution by which your guests can directly access their room without the need for any interaction. Also relevant is automated checkout, the technology that has been around for a few years. And with the need of displaying social distancing norms and corridor modifications, there's also a role for digital signage in the hotel as well. Finally, all the information about your health and safety program is normally required to be displayed to your guest. And your TV system may be the perfect one to perform that communication. Alternatively, you can also use the landing page of your internet access system. In both cases, you may need to have a content management system to manage all that communication. As for your information, Hoist is providing within this program several free offers to help with the implementation of many of these technologies, and I invite you to take a look at it. Pillar number 3. Ensure your hotel complies with social distancing guidelines. First, ensure a standard COVID-19 etiquette is communicated and displayed across your hotel so that guests both know and respect. Second, take measures to avoid or control queue formation. The normal approach is to provide some floor markings that ensure that distances are respected. Even better if you can use technology to prevent queues from forming in some of those places, such as for example the ones that we have been discussing in Pillar 2. Third, and very important, you will have to reconfigure the disposition of all your public areas. You will have to look at every seat, every bench, every table, and make sure that the way they are placed in a distance of 1.5 to 2 meters is ensured between each guest. Enforce single-person use of elevators, and wherever there is frequent contact between guest and staff, use panels to separate and provide some extra level of protection. Finally, make adjustments to room space. The problem with room space is that the amount of housekeeping effort needed to fully clean a checkout room is significant. In order to exercise some measure of control, brands have started decluttering the room of every minor object that may not be necessary, that may affect pens, notepads, excess hangers and linen, minibar stock, magazines, robes, slippers, coffee machines, glasses, etc. You really need to take a deep thought at what your value proposition is and try to eliminate every single object that is not really necessary. Pillar number 4. Ensure all staff follow hygiene and precautionary procedures. Procedures will of course be frequent and thorough hand washing together with social distancing. As well, your staff will need to know the common signs and symptoms of the disease and understand how to detect them both on staff or on guests. To that end, you may conduct regular trainings. It's important that you involve the security of your hotel as well in this process. And you may need to track all staff domicile and keep record of any staff travel, such as you may be needing in case you have to implement any quarantine process. Finally, you will need to implement a record-keeping process that allows you to track and trace any individual that has been in contact to a person that may have been detected as infected. These may imply guest registrations, log logs, surveillance footings, task assignments of your staff, etc. etc. Pillar number 5. Define procedures to test and manage suspect COVID infection cases. Depending on your country, it may be recommended or even required that you implement testing and access control facility in order to check temperature and even verify use of mask for your staff and even for your guests. Always remember when you predefine procedures for those cases that these technologies have their own false positives, false negatives that you may have to take into account as well. You may also want to ensure any symptom or specific request from your guests that denotes a particular risk of infection is always noted by your staff in order to identify them well in advance and treat them as may be needed. Always take into consideration that all this information needs to be kept with a strong line in privacy regulation. Finally, when it comes to testing and detection, always keep in mind that people may try to hide their medical condition and your procedures may have to deal with that as well. You may find your hotel in a situation where you have an infected case. In case that happens, you may need to have defined quarantine areas in order to separate the case and implement isolation and protection measures. You may need to have a predefined route in order to implement a pickup of that guest and transport to the hospital, which may need to have been prearranged. And you may need to have an evacuation plan for the rest of guests and staff in case it's necessary. If you have a case of infection, you will need also to have a plan for cleaning and disinfecting the exposed premises and then to ensure proper disposal of any biohazard material that may have been resulting. Finally, the government may ask for your help in supporting trace and identify procedures in order to understand all the different people that may have been in contact with that infected person. Appoint a responsible for COVID-19 management in your hotel. Redesign your guest journey by digitizing guest touchpoints. Ensure your hotel complies with social distancing guidelines. Ensure all staff follow hygiene and precautionary procedures. And define procedures to test and manage suspect COVID infection cases. Thank you for your time. I hope this information was useful. Don't forget to check our website, where you will find complementary information on many of the topics that we have been discussing, as well as a variety of videos on similar or related topics, and also information about the different technologies we have been discussing, together with free offers and promotions in order to enhance or facilitate their implementation in the industry. Should you have any questions, we will be delighted to try to help you. Don't hesitate to contact us.